Welcome back, everyone. Today, we are doing a deep dive into a fascinating concept.
Selfless love.
Yeah.
That's
Selfless love, unconditional love. We've got some really interesting source material.
yeah, I was really intrigued by the perspective, like a different take on it.
Totally. And it's so interesting that we're seeing this concept kind of evolve, right?
Yeah.
Like we're seeing it in, ancient philosophy, and we're seeing it in contemporary writings as well.
Right, and it's not just like a fleeting romantic notion, but it seems to be more like
It's deeper.
yeah, this profound like a force that shapes lives.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like, how about this analogy, like a tree with really deep roots?
Yeah.
That's how I see this. It's not about the flashy stuff. It's about that steady, unwavering presence.
Exactly, like a foundation, you know?
Yeah.
It's interesting because the sources, they really highlight the importance of like everyday acts of love, not these big grand gestures, but like the small, almost unnoticeable things that you do for someone.
Right, right. Like, I was looking at one of these sources, and one phrase that really jumped out at me was, the quiet, everyday ways you bring light into my life.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
wow. It's not about like buying someone a car or, those like over-the-top things.
Yeah.
It's about those small acts of kindness and just presence.
Presence is huge. And I think that ties into what another source was saying. Like, it's not about grand gestures or dramatic displays.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
Yeah.
more about creating a sense of safety and peace. And how do you see that? How do you
Yeah.
think that plays out?
Well, I think it creates this incredible space for vulnerability, right? If
Yeah.
you know you're loved, regardless of your, successes or failures, or even just like your quirks, you can just be yourself.
Right.
So it fosters this sense of security, which then enables you to, take risks, try new things, maybe even fail without that fear of judgment, like looming over you.
Yeah, that's powerful. Because if you feel like you're always going to be loved and supported no matter what,
Yeah.
then you are much more likely to kind of go for it.
Absolutely. And that is huge for growth.
Totally, totally. It's like having this secure base, this safe haven that you always know you can go back to no matter what craziness is happening out there.
Right. And it allows you to then go out into the world and, face those challenges and, maybe fall down sometimes. But, you have that secure base to come back to.
Absolutely, yeah. There's this other theme that I wanted to touch on, which is kind of this interconnectedness. And even like the idea of shared dreams, which I thought was super interesting.
Yeah.
There were a couple of lines from the sources that really stood out, like, your dreams feel like they're a part of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And when you close your eyes, you see my dreams. It's almost like,
It is kind of spiritual.
yeah, it's pretty profound, right?
Yeah.
Like, how does that strike you?
Well, it makes me think about empathy, right? It's like taking it to this whole other level where you're so connected to another person that their hopes and dreams and aspirations become intertwined with your own.
Right.
And that sense of belonging, that shared purpose, I mean, that is powerful stuff.
Totally.
Yeah.
It makes you think about attachment theory, like how the way that we were loved as children, how those early experiences shape our understanding of love and relationships.
Oh, yeah.
So could this type of love almost be like a path to healing old wounds, like a way to learn to trust and connect on a deeper level? What do you think?
It definitely could be. And that unconditional love can help us kind of rewrite those old narratives and maybe even, develop healthier attachment styles.
Yeah.
But I think there's also this challenge of like finding that balance
Right.
between, relying on that love for security and still maintaining your own individual growth.
Yeah.
Because it's not about becoming, totally dependent on another person.
Oh, yeah.
But it's about using that foundation, that security as a springboard to kind of explore your own potential.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's like finding that sweet spot between being nurtured and then also being empowered to like stand on your own 2 feet.
Exactly.
One of the things that really resonated with me in all this was the emphasis on feeling truly seen and valued for who you are, not for what you can give, which I think is so huge.
It's huge.
And one of the sources said, to be loved like this is to feel seen, valued, and cherished for who you are, not for what you can give, but simply for being yourself. Isn't that what we all want?
Deep down, I think it is. I mean, that's like that core desire to be accepted for who you truly are.
Right, right. And flaws and all. Right.
Exactly. And I think the sources capture that beautifully. Like when they talk about selfless love as one of life's greatest gifts and this rare and beautiful connection,
Yeah.
It's like a reminder that amidst all the chaos and the noise of life, there's this quiet but powerful force that connects us
Yes.
and that allows us to kind of flourish.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So I think we've covered a lot, those quiet acts of love, this sense of safety and being truly seen. That's what makes this type of connection so profound. Here's a final thought for everyone listening. How could you cultivate this type of love in your own life? It's
Right.
both in giving and receiving. And how might experiencing this kind of love influence your own personal growth and well-being? Think about that, and thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
See you next time.